What's up, guys? I wanted to show you a mace that I made. This one I'm really proud of. I've made one of these before and I gave it away as a gift and I regretted giving it away, so I made myself another one. My girlfriend's brother works for a telephone pole crew, and if you've ever noticed the big metal telephone poles that you usually see at major intersections, at the bottom those things are actually bolted to the ground. Like there are bolts usually concreted into the ground. The telephone pole sits down on those, and then there are these massive steel nuts screwed onto the bolts, sometimes stacked like 2 high. Well, this is one of those nuts that he gave me. He gave me 2, so I made his mace out of 1, and then I waited a few months, and every time I would go over to his house I would pick up that mace and play with it, and I got so into it I kind of wanted it back. So I used the second one and made an exact replica. This thing is a complete screw together job, meaning I didn't have to do anything special. Every single piece of this, with the exception of the nut, which I'll talk about in a moment. I mean, if you know somebody, you know somebody. I don't know where else you would get these, because I think they're only used in those large industrial applications. So if you know anybody who works with industrial steel I-beams or large bolts for bridges or telephone poles, like my girlfriend's brother, then you've got a source. Otherwise, I have an idea. But the rest of it, the support structure of the mace underneath, is all off-the-shelf iron pipe from the hardware store. Now, if you look in my videos, I'll try to link it below if I remember. I made a video a long time ago called, like, the Plumber's Cudgel. All my names for everything are stupid. Let's get over that. So, the Plumber's Cudgel is essentially the same pieces as this, with one exception. So we've got pipe cap on that end, long piece of pipe for the handle. I would recommend like 1.25 inches to 1.5 inches, but just depending on whatever feels most comfortable to you. You can put this whole thing together in the hardware store. You can literally go to the gas pipe section and assemble this minus the nut, but you can assemble the Plumber's Cudgel entirely in the store and make sure it all fits together and that you like the length. You can change things, you can make it bigger, you can make it smaller, lengthen the handle, shorten the handle, get it figured out, and then just take it apart and buy all the pieces. Now at the end, you'll see this piece right here, which marries the smaller pipe to the larger diameter pipe. This piece and this piece are actually joined inside this nut by a piece that is exactly as long as the nut is wide, which I believe was 2 inches. So this whole thing screws together tight, and it filled the gap perfectly inside the nut. This cap, I put it into a vise clamp and really put my body weight into tightening it, and it tightened down. Now, I did take the whole thing apart and I put it back together with 2-part epoxy, which is just, you know, my innate paranoia that everything I make is gonna fall apart and that is somehow like a judgment of my character. So I make things that never ever come apart. So this whole thing is held together with 2-part epoxy, but otherwise you really could just screw this whole mace together and it would be the exact same mace. You could hide candy in it, you know, so after the battle you take the cap off and maybe take a swig of M&Ms or something. So yeah, so I epoxied the hell out of this, and then I painted it because I like things to be pretty, but I painted it with really good, what am I trying to say here? Like enamel paint, like really good Rust-Oleum enamel paint, like automotive paint. But it's gonna chip off, it's gonna scrape off when I test it. I don't mind. I can either paint over it or I can sand it off back to metal if I want to. I just thought the paint looked better than the bare steel, especially because I used a couple different types. I used the iron pipe, which is one color, and then this, what I assume is just like a soft steel nut, this big nut, which I'm glad it's soft, meaning it'll dent and it won't crack apart when I hit something hard with it. It was a different color, so I just thought I would give the whole thing a uniform color. And then I added the gold accents, because again, I like things to be pretty. Used gray cotton cord on the handle. This thing is 17 inches from end to end, and it weighs 7 pounds. So it's actually a really good fitness mace. I mean, it is heavy, and I sometimes just stand around the living room and just move it around through the air like you would a fitness mace. But it is absolutely in usable range if you're strong. Now, they make these big nuts in different sizes. So, and I've seen 2 different sizes just on a metal telephone pole. And this morning, ironically, the reason I got the idea to do this video today, I finished this mace quite a while ago, but I've just been playing with it in my house. But the reason I got the idea to do the video today is I was considering what I was gonna do with this. Am I gonna give this away as a Christmas present? Am I gonna try to sell it? If anybody out there is interested, message me on Instagram. Anything I make, I'll usually make a deal and sell. I like to keep things and play with them, but if somebody offers me money, I usually let it go. This is no exception. If you want this mace, hit me up on Instagram. We can talk about a price. Your shipping is probably gonna be the highest, because like I said, this thing is 7 pounds of steel. But I'm willing to sell it. In fact, I may try to summon a demon and trade this mace for arcane wisdom. I haven't decided. But for the time being, I'm using it as a fitness mace. And where was I? I looped my own story. Oh yeah, this morning. So I'm driving to work and I see these guys, this road crew, working on a metal telephone pole. And that metal telephone pole, they were bolting it down with these. And they had 2 sizes. They had a larger size, which looked about like the one that I've got on here. And then they had a slightly smaller size that they were putting in on top of that one to hold the larger nuts down. And I thought about rolling down the window and just yelling at them, hey, can I have some of your extra big nuts? And then I thought the light might turn green at any moment and I may not get a chance to explain what I actually mean by that. And I didn't want to get like a wrench thrown at my car, so I just decided to stay quiet. But yeah, I imagine if you just approached a road crew who was changing out a telephone pole, slip them 10 to 15 bucks or whatever, they might give you a handful of these things. So yeah, they probably come in different sizes. I'm not an expert, but this one it's about the right weight for me to work out with. I don't think I'd want to like wield it unless I were testing it on things just for fun. But as far as an actual battle, it's a little bit heavy, but it's not too heavy. I mean, you kind of have to swing it around like a dance partner. It's not so much a weapon as it is like something that you're sort of suggesting it move a certain way and then trying to accommodate and facilitate that movement with your own body. It feels like two-handed weight, but one-handed size. So if you're a hoss, you could probably, you know, swing this thing around without much trouble. It's a little bit of work for me, but that's why you do it, right? You'll grow stronger. And if you play with this mace all day, then a regular weight mace is gonna feel pretty lightweight by comparison when you're done. So that's it. This is my big nut mace. And again, you can make your own, assemble the plumber's cudgel. This is really just like an upgrade to the plumber's cudgel if I think about it. It's just a hardware store gas pipe plumber's cudgel with this giant telephone pole nut added. There you go. I feel like I've blabbed about this thing long enough. Yeah, it's 8 minutes. What am I even doing anymore? So long, guys. God damn, makes me look short. Oh, I'm standing in a fucking hole.